Without a cause of death or a suspect, the theories continue.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 deaths that can't be explained.
It just seemed a strange place for anybody to die.
For this list, we're looking at verified deaths with no apparent or confirmed explanation for how they occurred. We won't be including disappearances or people who were later declared dead, such as Amelia Earhart. No celebrities either. What unexplained death fascinates you the most? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. South Pole poisoning. You have to be completely prepared if you're spending time in the South Pole. But what happened here in 2000 is beyond anyone's comprehension. When Rodney Marks, a 32-year-old Australian astrophysicist researching in the Antarctic, began experiencing breathing difficulties and other worrisome symptoms, no amount of medical treatments worked. He passed away the same day he fell ill. When an autopsy was performed, roughly 150 milliliters of methanol, a toxic alcohol, was discovered. How this got into Mark's body remains a mystery. Some believe there's another culprit, but no clear motives or suspects have been presented. Number 9. The 8-Day Bride. 22-year-old Christina Kettlewell, who had just eloped with her husband Jack, was discovered dead in the Severn River in 1947, floating in less than a foot of water. But this wasn't just a newlyweds getaway. Also joining them was Jack's best friend, Ronald Barry. Life insurance policies for both Jack and Christina named Barry as a beneficiary. Some speculate that Jack and Ronald were having an affair, and Christina's death is connected to it. Letters written by Christina about her mental state further complicate matters. Barry also took out an insurance policy on the couple's honeymoon cottage, which went up in flames. A jury was unable to determine if any foul play had occurred, and the case remains unsolved. Number 8. Spontaneous combustion. Cases of alleged spontaneous combustion, in which people burst into flames for no apparent reason, are rare but not unheard of.
Did something happen?
A recent possible example occurred in 2017 involving John Nolan, a 70-year-old Irishman in North London who was simply out walking. Authorities were unable to rescue Nolan in time, and no feasible explanation for the combustion could be found. However, Coroner Andrew Walker proposed that the fire happened from Nolan trying to light a cigarette and subsequently catching on fire. And skeptic Joe Nickel agrees with this theory. Remember, safety first when there's fire involved.
Wake me up before it.
Number 7. Affair death. On New Year's Day 1963, the partially dressed bodies of Dr. Gilbert Bogle and Margaret Chandler were found by the Lane Cove River. Bogle was married and was reportedly having an affair with Chandler, who was married to a colleague of his.
Jeffrey Chandler is immediately the prime suspect, but he has a watertight alibi. He left the party 20 minutes earlier than Bogle and his wife. When they arrived at the river, he was on the other side of the city, visiting a lover of his own.
Both foul play and their spouse's possible involvement have been ruled out. Forensic evidence indicates that Bogle and Chandler had been poisoned, but an autopsy turned up no illicit substances.
And over the decades, there were a string of wild theories.
The coroner determined that they had died from acute circulatory failure, but there's no telling exactly what caused it. A documentary, Who Killed Dr. Bogle and Mrs. Chandler, proposed that their deaths were an accident involving hydrogen sulfide poisoning. But no definitive conclusion has been reached.
This case ranks as the most mysterious, possibly the most mysterious. As a matter of fact, I can't recall anything that I've read about happening in the whole of the world.
Number 6. Room 1046. In 1935, at Kansas City's Hotel President, 17-year-old Ronald T. Owen, who had checked in just a few days before, was discovered horribly injured and died the following day. Owen was discovered on January 4th, 2 days after checking in, by the hotel's bellboy. He appeared intoxicated and was surrounded by blood, but was conscious for questioning.
Now say good night to the bad guy. Go on.
Owen testified that he simply hurt himself on the bathtub. Clearly, someone else was involved. It was also later discovered that Ronald T. Owen's true identity was Artemis Ogletree, after his mother recognized his scar in a news photo. Number 5. the Atlas vampire. Even if you don't believe in the supernatural, this story is still absolutely fascinating. In 1932, the body of Lily Lindstrom, a 32-year-old, was discovered in her hotel room in Stockholm. Not only that, but she had also suffered severe head trauma and been nearly depleted of her blood. As if that didn't already sound like a vampire, consider that saliva was discovered on Lindstrom's neck, as well as a ladle covered in blood. No culprit was ever discovered.
Hello.
Hi.
This may seem very forward, but you're just so pretty.
Thank you.
And please don't scream. You're about to have a very, very bad night.
It might not have been an actual vampire, but the idea of anyone going around and drinking people's blood is enough to give us nightmares.
Why do you do this? I like to do it. I enjoy it.
Number 4. Mary Rogers. On July 28, 1841, the body of Mary Rogers, a New York tobacco shop employee in her early 20s, turned up in the Hudson River. Known for her good looks, which earned her a healthy income due to her knack for attracting customers, Rogers' death is as unsettling as it is mysterious. 3 days before her body was found, she had told her fiancé she was going to visit relatives. Theories range from gang violence to a failed medical procedure. Months after her death, her fiancé took his own life. Edgar Allan Poe based his short story The Mystery of Marie Roget on Rogers' death. But this story is one that has no definite ending. Number 3. Possible UFO abduction. Paranormal theories about unexplainable events were reported long before the days of the X-Files. The body of Zygmunt Adamski, a 56-year-old miner, was discovered in a coal storage yard in Todmorden, England in 1980. Specifically, it was found on a mound of coal, without any evidence pointing to Adamski being moved. There was also no accounting for the burns on Adamski's body or for the ointment on them. A police officer on the scene theorized Adamski had been kidnapped by aliens in a UFO, who then disposed of him. The truth, as they say, is out there.
It's an absolutely incredible case and would be regarded in terms of British UFO history as Britain's first true abduction case.
Number 2. The Taman Shud case. Not only do we have no idea what happened in this case, but we also have no idea who it happened to. In 1948, a body was found on Somerton Beach in Adelaide.
But as the police began investigating it, they became convinced that there was more to the story.
There was no clue as to his identity, just Taman Shud, Farsi for finished, written on a ripped page from a collection of poems by Persian poet Omar Khayyam, and his suitcase, which was found at the railroad station.
So on the back of the book were some strange letters that the police couldn't make any sense of, and a phone number that belonged to a young 27-year-old woman.
However, neither of these gave any indication as to his cause of death or who he was. As far as the investigation goes, this one is definitely not finished. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. Whatever happened in Russia's northern Ural Mountains in February 1959 might be too grim for us to ever comprehend. But there are a lot of possibilities. After multiple hikers, primarily students and recent college graduates, went missing in the mountains, their bodies and decimated tent were discovered. While the majority had succumbed to hypothermia, others died under more mysterious circumstances, with evidence suggesting a wild animal attack. Other theories include group madness and even UFO activity.
This is the last photo taken by the hikers before they died. It's out of focus, but it seems to show mysterious lights in the sky.
Results of another investigation presented in 2020 concluded that an avalanche was the cause. Whatever it was, it is horrible to even think about what these hikers endured.
The evidence here is both extensive, yet maddeningly incomplete. And until we fill in the gaps, the case cannot be fully closed.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.